The Labor Code of the Philippines, Chapter 2, Learners, Article 73, Learners defined. Learners are persons hired as trainees in semi-skilled and other industrial occupations which are non-apprenticeable and which may be learned through practical training on the job in a relative short period of time which shall not exceed 3 months. Article 74. When learners may be hired. Learners may be employed when no experienced workers are available. The employment of learners is necessary to prevent curtailment of employment opportunities, and the employment does not create unfair competition in terms of labor costs or impair of lower working standards. Article 75. Learnership Agreement. Any employer desiring to employ learners shall enter into a learnership agreement with them, which agreement shall include A. Names and addresses of the learners, B. The duration of the learnership period, which shall not exceed 3 months, C. The wages or salary rates of the learners, which shall begin at not less than 75% of the applicable minimum wage, D. A commitment to employ the learners if they so desires as regular employees upon completion of the learnership. All learners who have been allowed or suffered to work during the first 2 months shall be deemed regular employees if training is terminated by the employer before the end of the stipulated period through no fault of the learners. The learnership agreement shall be subject to inspection by the Secretary of Labor and Employment or his duly authorized representative. Article 76. Learners in piecework. Learners employed in piece or incentive rate jobs during the training period shall be paid in full for the work done. Article 57. Penalty Clause. Any violation of this chapter or its implementing rules and regulation shall be subject to the general penalty clause provided for in this code. Chapter 3. Handicap Workers. Definition. Handicap workers are those whose earning capacity is impaired by age or physical or mental deficiency or injury. Article 79, superseded by Republic Act No. 7277 as amended. Article 80, Employment Agreement. Any employer who employs handicap workers shall enter into an employment agreement with them, which agreement shall include A. The names and addresses of the handicap workers to be employed. B. The rate to be paid the handicap workers, which shall not less than 75% of the applicable legal minimum wage. C. The duration of employment period, and D. The work to be performed by the handicap workers. The employment agreement shall be subject to inspection of the Secretary of Labor or his duly authorized representative. Article 81. Eligibility of apprenticeship. Subject to the appropriate provision of this code, handicap workers may be hired as apprentices or learners if their handicap is not such as to effectively impede the performance of job operations in the particular occupations for which they are hired.